Game 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs was tonight, and the Red Wings were looking to even the series up at 1 apiece. Coming into tonight, Detroit had lost each of their last 4 games in Tampa Bay. Could Detroit change their recent string of luck in the Sunshine State? To Tampa we go, and this game was chippy and nasty. Players were losing teeth, nothing like a little good old-fashioned playoff hockey. Tampa will get on the score sheet first. After 2 Detroit penalties, Tampa with a 5-on-3 when Nikita Kucherov unloads this one-timer top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jar. 1-0 Tampa. Wings would respond. Detroit flips the puck into the Tampa zone when Dylan Larkin beats everyone, including Ben Bishop, 5-hole, and we are tied. Lightning would quickly respond. Jonathan Drouin sets up Brian Boyle with the drop pass, and Boyle pots it home. 2-1. Detroit wouldn't go away. Wings on the power play when Brad Richard puts the biscuit home. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jar. That's 2 cookie jar references. Scores 2-2 now. But the Red Wings killer Tyler Johnson would strike again. Detroit breaks down defensively, and with Jimmy Howard way out of position, Johnson stuffs home the rebound, and Tampa would take the 3-2 lead. Late in the third, Johnson with one more for a good measure. Off the feed from Kucherov, unloads this missile past Howard. 4-2 Lightning. Tampa adds an empty netter and a hold serve at home. Tampa leads the series 2-0 as the series shifts back to Detroit for Game 3 Sunday evening. The Tigers would continue their 8-game road trip in Houston on Jackie Robinson Day. Players would honor Robinson by wearing his retired number 42. Mike Pelfrey would get the start tonight for Detroit. Astros would get on the scoreboard first. Bottom 1, runners on first and second when Colby Rasmus lines this ball in the left center field. George Springer will chug on home, and that's going to score a run. It will be 1-0 Astros. But Pelfrey would settle in. Here, bases loaded, and he gets Evan Gattis on the check swing punchy. Here in the third, Pelfrey gets Carlos Gomez to ground it up the middle, and Ian Kinsler makes the ridiculous 4-3 double play. Hang a star on that one. But Detroit's bat couldn't get much going off of Astros starter Dallas Keuchel. Here, Nick Castellanos lines out the left. Then Jose Iglesias bounces weakly over to first. Dallas Keuchel pitches 8 shutout innings, and they blank the Tigers 1-0. University of Michigan softball program was ranked first in the country coming into the weekend. After splitting the first 2 games of their road series with Nebraska, Sunday's game was, well, for a series victory. A victory Sunday would also give Michigan their 3rd consecutive Big Ten series victory. And this game was a wild one with teams scoring at will. In the first, Michigan would jump out front. Bases loaded when Lindsey Montemorano grounds to short. Nebraska tries to make the play at the plate, but they throw it away. 2 runs end up scoring here on the throwing error. It's 2-0 Michigan. However, Nebraska would rally. Bottom of the first, and Nebraska's Kalen Jablansky lines this one in the left. That'll be a sac fly. Nebraska would put up a 3 spot in the first to take a 3-2 lead. Top of the 5th, Michigan now down 6-5, but with the bases loaded, Sierra Lawrence lifts this ball into right field. That's a sac fly, and that'll score a run, and we are all tied at 6. Top of the 7th, 2 outs, and it's that girl, Sierra Lawrence. And, hey, girl, it's your world, and we're just living it. She spins on this first pitch and goes bridge work, 2-run homer, and that's the game winner. Michigan wins it in the 7th to secure their 3rd consecutive Big Ten series victory. The Detroit Pistons are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2009. Those 2009 Pistons lost in the Eastern Conference first round to Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking to make a name for themselves, there would be no better opportunity to do so than steal Game 1 on the road in Cleveland. So to Cleveland we go. And the Detroit was looking to make King James and the Cavs uncomfortable. In the 4th, Pistons up 4. When on the run, Steve Blake finds Reggie Bullock open. Give him all 3 of these. Pistons up 7. But Cleveland wouldn't go away. Dellavedova finds LeBron James on the pick and roll. Count it, and the foul. LeBron would miss the free throw, but we are tied. Detroit responds. Reggie Jackson, he sets up Andre Drummond, and Drummond makes the push bunny in the lane. Pistons back up 2. But as hard as the Pistons battled, the Cavs just seem to have an answer. This time it's Kevin Love from the land of 3. That's money. Then it would be Kyrie Irving slashing to the rack for the layup in traffic. Cleveland comes back in the 4th quarter to hold serve and win Game 1, 106-101. Game 2 is set for Wednesday. Prior to Friday's loss, the Tigers won each of their first 4 road games to start the 2016 season. After being shut out by all-star pitcher Dallas Keuchel, Detroit was looking to rebound Saturday evening. On the mound for the Tigers would be their ace Justin Verlander. Verlander has struggled out of the gate in 2016, sporting a +8 ERA. Could he right the ship and get the Tigers back in the win column? Well, to Houston we go, and this was some kind of ball game. We'll jump ahead to the top of the fifth. Tigers down 3-1 when Justin Upton grounds this ball to Luis Valbuena. He throws it across the diamond, but first baseman Tyler White drops it and it'll scoot down the line. Jose Iglesias will score. Tigers now down 3-2. Then it's in the sixth, and the Salty enters the launching pad. Jared Saltalamacchia goes fresh squeezed at Minute Maid Park. That's a 2-run blast. Tigers now up 4-3. I mentioned Justin Verlander looking to get back on track. Well, after allowing 3 runs in the first, Verlander went to dealing. Here he punches out Jason Castro looking. Later, he tells Kobe Rasmus to grab some pine. Verlander would finish the night with 8 strikeouts. Top of the ninth, Tigers looking for a little insurance when Victor Martinez smokes this ball over the head of Carlos Gomez, and up the hill it goes. Miguel Cabrera is going to lumber on home. The Tigers jump ahead 5-3. They go on to win this ball game 5-3. Friday night's performance by the Detroit Red Wings was the type of outing they needed as they make their playoff push. Their 3-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild showed heart, determination, grit, and the type of mindset needed in a critical situation. They defined themselves with how they needed to win as well. Getting into the dirty areas, winning the one-on-one battles, scoring the occasional greasy goal, and getting timely goaltending when needed. Saturday, Detroit found themselves needing to repeat that effort and mindset. With a win, the Wings would find themselves back in the playoff picture, a point ahead of Boston for 3rd spot in the Atlantic Division. This would be a big road game in Toronto against the Maple Leafs. In the first, Wings on the power play when Brad Richards rips one past Garrett Sparks. 1-0 good guys. Later in the first, Detroit would strike again. This time, it's going to be Mike Green with the point blast past Sparks, top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jar. 2-0 Wings. Leafs would get back and cut the lead to 2-1, but have no fear. Kyle Quincy is here, hits his 3rd of the season, and that would be all Detroit would need. Toronto would score a late goal, but the Wings would win 3-2. That's now 2 in a row for the Wings. They now leapfrog Boston for 3rd place in the Atlantic Division with 91 points. Needless to say, Friday night was not one of the best outings for the Pistons. From top to bottom, the team just flat out struggled against the Mavericks, shooting just 38% from the field. Now, I'm not one to hit the panic button, as Detroit has been playing some excellent basketball overall. But in a tight playoff race, nights like Friday cannot be repeated or turn into a trend. Saturday evening, Detroit faced one of those teams currently fending them off for a playoff season. Their arch rival, the Chicago Bulls, looking to put their Friday view in the rearview mirror and add a little space between them and Chicago. The Pistons headed to the United Center. Now, coming into tonight, the Pistons led the season series against the Bulls 2-1. However, they hadn't had much success here, losing 3 of their last 4 games in Chicago. This game would go down to the wire. Here in the 4th, Pistons are down just 2 when Caldwell Pope from downtown, bang biscuit. Pistons up 1. After a good defensive stop, Marcus Morris takes the pass, and he puts Jimmy Butler in the spin cycle. With the fadeaway J, yes, the Pistons go up 3. Chicago would not go away. Here, Jimmy Butler drives strong to the rack for the deuce. Pistons up just 1. But on this night, Detroit would overcome their demons in Chicago. Here, it's Reggie Jackson with the high smooch off the glass. Then, Long Island, New York's own Tobias Harris cleaning up the boards with the stick-back layup. Detroit holds on to knock off the Bulls 94-90. Over in Tawas, the Lady Braves soccer team opened up their 2016 campaign as they welcomed the Chargers from Valley Lutheran High School. We'll pick things up early in the first, already down 1-0, and the Braves are looking to clear, but that's just not going to cut it as Amanda Becker, she goes top corner, and the Chargers lead 2-0. Just 3 minutes later, they're at it again, and it's the captain, Katie Liberacki, maneuvering her way around defenders. No intentions of giving this one up. The beautiful strike over the goalie and hits the corner, and just like that, the lead is 3. Jump ahead. Crisp passing from the Chargers, Lauren Arnold to Megan Kelly here, threading the needle to Natalie Nitchman, and she goes all alone with a right foot strike. It'll find the back of the net. It's 4-0 Valley Lutheran, and just for good measure, mere minutes left in the half, Arner finds Liberacki right here just from outside the box. There's a little bit of confusion, but that one crossed the line. It's her 2nd on the day, and they would go into the half up 5. The second half was a little bit better for the Braves as they were able to find the back of the net once, but they fall in their season opener 7-1. All right, win and you're in. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was Detroit's mission come Saturday afternoon. The Red Wings wanted to keep their streak of 24 consecutive seasons of postseason play alive. A win at Madison Square Garden versus the New York Rangers was their task at hand. Now, I'm a transplanted New Yorker who's grown up rooted for the Rangers his entire life. But I want to cover some playoff hockey in a few days. To the world's most famous arena we go, and while the New York Rangers were able to rest a few of their key players, Detroit had no such luxury to take the day off. Detroit got off to a slow start, though. Here, Rangers break out 2-on-1, and Dan Boyle snipes this one home past Jimmy Howard, 1-0 Blue Shirts. But Detroit would find their game. In the second, Detroit on the power play, and it's the magic man, Pavel Datsyuk. His shot finds the back of the net, and we are tied at 1. In the third, Wings buzzing when Dylan Larkin feeds Henrik Zetterberg out front, but Antti Ranta is there doing the splits. Check out the replay. Zetterberg is robbed on the doorstep. Later in the third, it's the Rangers' Dylan McElrath. He puts this shot on net, and it's deflected home by Kevin Hayes. 2-1 New York. Now down 3-1 late in the third. Detroit keeps battling, and Justin Abdelkader makes it 3-2. New York will take 2 very late penalties. It's a 6-on-3 for Detroit, but they can't control the puck, and time would eventually expire on the Wings. The Rangers hold on to defeat the Red Wings 3-2. Now, while the loss wasn't what Detroit had hoped for, the Wings did receive some fantastic